So today we're going to talk about running while you're pregnant and then getting back into exercise post-baby. So is it safe? That's the biggest question. And yes, as long as your OB has not told you no, it is recommended for you to exercise about 20 to 30 minutes a day, 5 to 7 times a week. So what are some benefits of exercising or running while you're pregnant? Some of the biggest are it just helps kind of stave away some of those general aches and pains of pregnancy. It can lower your chances of preeclampsia and gestational diabetes, and it's just overall better for your health. Now, what are some reasons why you wouldn't want to necessarily participate in some heavy, intense exercise while pregnant? So if you're experiencing a lot of bleeding, abdominal pain, any type of breast pain as well, if you're carrying twins or triplets, or you're just at a higher risk of preterm labor, it might be good to have a conversation with your OB or pelvic floor physical therapist. We are going to talk about returning to your exercise activities like running or weightlifting after you've had baby. And there's 4 stages, and you really should try to meet all 4 of these before you start getting back into that stuff, just for your pelvic floor safety. Your first stage is that you should be a minimum of 3 to 6 months postpartum. And keep in mind that if you've had a cesarean section, you should be on the later end of that timeline just because of the healing of the uterus wall. A couple other big things to look for in stage number 1 is that you should have no vaginal bleeding that is non-menstrual related. You shouldn't feel any heaviness or bulgingness or dragging down there. And then you should feel a little bit better when you do light to moderate activities and that you can tolerate those. All right, stage number 2 is to make sure that your pelvic floor has the endurance to engage in some of these activities. So I want everybody to stand up, and I want you to imagine that you are sipping up a smoothie from a straw with your pelvic floor muscles. Step number 1, I need you to hold it for 60 seconds. Step number 2 is you are going to do 8 to 12 repetitions, holding it for 8 seconds at the max that you can hold it. And then step number 3 is a 60-second contraction that you're holding it about a 50% strength. If you can do all of that without any problems while you're standing, then you're ready to move to step number 3. All right, step number 3 of returning to running is called functional load testing. So you should be able to do the next couple things without any pain, heaviness, bulging, just weird feeling down in that pelvic area. So first thing you should be able to do is just walk for about 30 minutes at a comfortable pace. Step number 2 is you should be able to stand on one leg for about 10 seconds. Step number 3 is you're gonna be doing 10 single leg squats. Step number 4, you should be able to jog in place for about 1 minute. Step number 5, you should be able to do 10 forward bounds. Step number 6 is you should be able to hop in place about 10 times, just like this. Step number 7 is you should be able to do 10 running bands. If you can do all that, you're ready to move to step number 4. All right, so you've made it through the first 3 stages of returning to running. The 4th and final phase is just making sure that your leg strength and your glute strength is ready and up to par to start running again. 4 steps. First one is you should be able to do 20 single leg calf raises on both legs. Step number 2, you should be able to do 20 single leg bridges in a flat lying position. Step number 3 is you should be on your side, and while you're laying on your side, you should be able to do 20 leg kicks out to the side. And step number 4 is 20 single leg sit to stands from a chair. So imagine there's a chair here, and I'm sitting, and I'm coming back up. If you can do all of that, you're ready to start running again. But I just don't want you to go out and run 20 miles, right? I want you to walk first and then run and then take a break. Walk and run and do short increments, start with 30 seconds to a minute and then run for 30 seconds to a minute. You don't want to just jump back into activities because that can cause pelvic pain and just set you back even further. If you have any further questions, come see me, your pelvic floor physical therapist.